Hey everyone, it's Justin from the Calm Down It's Fine podcast. It's officially my turn to leave the intro, so here we go. I just want to remind you all that this is the most popular podcast in all of Delmarva, probably, I guess. Anyway, we would like to invite you to like, share, and subscribe to this glorious endeavor that we've embarked on. Also, leave a comment, give us a rate. If you have not rated the podcast at this point, you are a failure in all things at work and at home. Send us an email, leave a review, tell your friends, start a cult, whatever it takes to get this thing moving. Well, anyway, let's get on with it.
You guys hear about the astronauts that are stuck?
Yes.
I did not until today, and that is probably the most terrifying thing I've ever heard in my entire
Can you
life.
imagine? So, like, I haven't...
It's like we've been prepped for this with all these movies coming about by guys getting left in space.
Yeah. But they're also, like, it's I mean, it's the ISS. It's not like...
It's space, dude.
Yeah, but it's the space station.
It's space, outer
Hey,
space.
hey, here's what I want you to think, dude. Even if you're close to Earth, bro, you're still stuck in space.
I don't care if you're on a crop duster and you're stuck in there for.
Stuck, bro. I don't like being.
So do you know what exactly happened, Dustin?
Dude,
Like what happened?
I would lose my mind if I had to.
They were what?
I would lose my mind if I was stuck in a garage.
Mm-hmm.
They're
How about your house?
stuck
For
Dude, I got a rebuttal for this whole thing right now.
in space. Here's what. All right, I want you to picture this. Right.
I'm picturing it.
Imagine that you were in
Dragons.
a can.
Yeah.
Right. You're in a can,
Mm-hmm.
and then that can
The can.
was in space.
Yeah, pretend you're stuck in your car.
In
Right.
space.
In
And
space.
then your car was in space,
Where in space?
dude.
Give me like a nearby thing.
Right that way. In space.
How about 200 yards in the sky? That's bad enough.
Yeah, but
I saw a flat Earth thing.
Bro,
a
I hate
rebuttal
being
for
stuck
flat
on a
Earth.
plane.
yeah, but have you
For
ever seen?
flat
Have
Earth,
you,
I saw a guy.
stop!
He has a level on the grass. And he goes, checkmate, flat earthers, and it's unlevel.
I love conspiracy theories, and like we're to the point now where like a whole bunch of the ones that have whatever like they're coming true, but there's some of them are just like, why are we fighting? I am so irritated by this flat Earth thing, and it's not even that.
Why people don't believe it.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna. I knew you were. I could tell when your face was just like stayed the same, like he's gonna try to like push it or something. It's so like number one. So you're telling me that since
Wait, we're not talking about flat Earth right now. You are
talking
the
about-
worst ever going.
We're talking
I
about
can't help
people
it.
who are stuck in space.
well, it doesn't matter because the Earth is flat and space isn't real.
all right, I can sign on to that. So, all
I
right.
didn't want that to be the end.
I told
Figure it
Cameron because I
They're
didn't
just in a warehouse. Get out.
I didn't know that these people were in
Just
space,
kidding.
right? I didn't know that these
Yeah.
people were stuck here. He said they've been stuck here for like a year.
No, not a year yet.
Not-
but here's what
it
happened.
will be a year.
Boeing and NASA sent them there, and they were supposed to do some stuff in the space station. And the return pod, there was some problems with it, and so they couldn't send them back. But NASA and the Boeing, their plan, their resources, whatever, the fastest that they could get them back on their plan of trying to get them back safely, it's like a year.
Yeah.
So they went to SpaceX and was like, yo, can you help us here? And they're like, yeah, we can get them back by February. No problem.
When were they supposed to be back?
Already.
Like, do you know when?
Before right now.
Summertime.
Yeah.
So how
They've been stuck.
So how much food and stuff do they have?
They've been up there for a while. But they're supposed to come back in the summer. And that's when all this happened. That's why it's not the main thing in the news right now, because they're up there, but it's like,
and they have enough food to hold them over.
that
until-
space station is loaded.
It's an international space station, so I mean, it's like a hotel in space.
Cameron, it's a hotel in space. Cameron told me that it's a man and a woman.
It is.
I'll have to repopulate.
Look,
Bro,
someone said-
I told Cameron there's gonna be a space baby.
Well, I was... No, stop.
If
But
time
the-
out, wait, hold on.
Dusty Slay was. I was telling
Serious
you.
question.
It was the Nate Bargatze podcast,
Yeah.
and he goes. Did you see the accommodations up there? The guy is sleeping on a sleeping bag on the ground, and the lady has the bed. And Dusty Slay goes, I mean, well, that's what they're telling us.
I mean,
I'm like, oh, goodness.
No doubt. Listen.
Like, I'll be up there for a year.
All right,
I mean,
serious
might as well get
question.
cozy. Is what he
Serious question. Let's say they're up there for another year, and a space baby does happen.
said. It's not. They're both old. That's not. Come on, we can't go there.
It's a serious question.
We can't
There's a
see-
serious question. Would that baby be an alien?
yes. Yes.
Bro, that baby would be an alien.
Do you understand? It would have no nationality. It's not born anywhere.
It's not born on Earth.
Yeah.
It'd be an alien.
Can you imagine? You'd be the only person ever. Where were you born? Space.
Bro, that's crazy. I mean, Cameron has a point. He showed me a picture. They're both old.
Why aren't we sending why aren't we sending pregnant women to space so they can have babies up there?
Alien babies.
We could have
That's a weird
whole
noise.
country.
That's a weird-
We could do that. We'll just start sending, and then like so if they're alien babies already, then they can they can breathe in space.
Bro,
We just send them out in the wild and populate the moon.
I think that's what Elon Musk's plan is. But Mars.
Well, I ain't seen it. This is our plan though. We're like the Mars is like a distant dream, right? Let's focus on the moon.
I mean, that baby would be, by all
What do you-
intents
what do
and
you-
purposes,
what do you
that
think- what do
baby
you-
would be an alien, correct?
100%. What do you think? Hey, what do you think? What do you think the first alien would look like?
That baby. These
Cool.
two old people.
How many arms?
All right, here it is.
Yeah.
I'm reading it.
That's
All right,
that-
stuck in space, astronauts reflect on being left behind and adjusting in orbit. Here they are. Not only are they old, they're
Hey,
pretty. She looks like a witch.
new.
Well,
She might
okay.
already be in it.
I have
Cape Canaveral, Florida. Stuck in space, astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sony Williams said Friday it's been tough dealing with their Boeing ride leaving without them and their prospect of spending several extra months in orbit. It was their first public comment since last week's return from the Boeing Starliner that took them to International Space Station in June. Oof. They remained behind after NASA determined the problem plague capsule posed too much risk for them to ride back in. Their 8-day mission is now expected to last more than 8 months.
dude, you know what?
8-day mission.
You know what? You know what? Like, a very serious problem is
what?
like muscle deterioration.
Oh, 100%. You're only allowed to be out there for like or supposed to be out there
Oh, I
for so
didn't
long.
just get a
Because the longest
virus.
person that's ever been up there was like, I think there was like a year and a half or just under 2 years.
Yeah, but like
And they came back and they were so weak.
yeah, like you're so weak because there's no gravity and stuff like that. So like your muscles just go away.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
That's wild.
Yeah. What do you
But if you were a baby that was born in space and you're an alien, you'd be used to it.
That's what I'm saying. You got all those extra gills and other
Gills.
and other space apparatuses. Hey, we need to start sending missionaries to space.
Mm.
Who do you think would be a good space missionary? Just pick one.
A good space missionary.
Mm-hmm.
I would say would be. I almost said somebody's real name, and then I was like, man, there's a chance they might.
Let's just.
There's a chance they might hear this. And I'm not gonna say it now, but just know, I thought of someone funny. Never mind. We'll move on.
Okay.
I don't know what we're talking about. I'm
Did you ever watch The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius?
Of course.
You know, at the end, the little monkey is, "Hi, I'm Bo."
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but for like the last 6 months, it's been stuck in my head.
It's just
Like every day. Hi, I'm Paul.
Okay.
Haven't thought about it in years, and now it's like in there.
There it is.
Yep. The kid with a knack for inventions.
With a superpowered mind and mechanical canine. Yeah.
Rescues the day from short destruction.
So
This is
NASA
the
and them now
theme
have to
song.
rely on Elon, whom they hate so much, which is so funny to me.
It's so ironic. And like everyone's hating on Elon, and like there are so many people that are out there just trying to discredit him. Like coming out and be like, he didn't invent Tesla.
There are 2 U.S. astronauts stranded on the U.S. International Space Station right now due to malfunctioning of Boeing Starliner, with no clear plan on how and when they're coming back. Media is silent because it's not an Elon Musk scandal, as he is about to go get them. Like, it is so true. Yeah, this year the SpaceX Dragon spaceship will take astronauts the furthest they've been from Earth in over a half century. He's amazing. My goodness. Just saving people. He might be the Antichrist.
Now that I'm thinking about it.
Trump getting a head wound and now there's no sign of it.
Confirmed.
I'm going to bring world peace. There will be no war. I can't do his voice. But no war, peace in the Middle East, and
dude,
and he's going to tame the Russian bear. And,
confirmed. Trump.
And his head, head wound. It says in Revelation, Antichrist had a head wound.
Bro,
and was healed.
Confirmed. Trump is the Antichrist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, there's going to be somebody who's going to be like...
Way already, bro.
Huh?
Way already.
What?
You said there's going to be some people who actually say that?
I was going to say there's going to be somebody who's going to be offended that we're making fun of Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm voting for him. I can make fun of him all I want.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't care. I'll make fun of everybody. I don't care.
Huh? I'll make fun of your mother.
Do it. Right now.
I just did.
Oh, damn.
She's your mother. What a shame.
Oh, got me, dude.
That was so crazy. It happened so fast.
Oh, didn't even
we were supposed to talk about the astronauts for a long time. You guys
Let's
really
talk about
adding to it.
No, we tried to talk about alien babies and you shut us down.
We can talk about alien babies.
But they're not alien people up there, okay?
Yes, they are. If we send pregnant women to space and they give birth to alien babies,
that baby would be an alien. Would that aliens. Or not? They would be an alien.
They would be an alien. They
not
weren't
born
on Earth. That means
alien.
When they come out, they've got like gills and arms and other stuff that helps them live in space.
That's a step far.
No.
But.
Nope. They're in space.
Would be an alien.
Hey, David. You've never seen a baby born in space. You don't know what's going to happen.
That's also true.
So I'm
the only one here who's ever seen a baby born.
In space?
In space. That's what we're talking about.
Baby born on Earth.
Oh, yeah, but that's Earth babies.
Yeah, we're talking about
news.
space babies.
Everybody's been an Earth baby.
Stupid Earth babies.
Nobody's been a sky space baby. Listen.
What is space? Because there's been babies born 30,000 feet in the air.
Yeah, but space is more than that.
Dude, I'm talking about caught up to the second heaven.
How about the third? Let's talk about that.
Later. Dude, so...
Yeah, we're not Mormons.
Yeah, so dude,
Spirit babies.
I'm going to talk about my vacation now.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
To Italia?
To a number of places.
You did a bunch.
I did a lot.
How?
It was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
First thing we did, we flew into Rome.
Yeah. Did you get to meet Mussolini?
Yeah, we made a secret handshake and everything. No, we went to first we went to the Trevi Fountain, which was cool. Saw that.
If you get a work call, is it going to be on that phone?
It's my phone's silenced. I got it on my watch. That's why I'm wearing my watch.
Is that
so? Somebody calls, I know.
Is that still the watch you got for free?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
like, we can't get a hold of him.
The phone. Yeah, my phone's muted.
I'm recording a podcast, guys.
If the call comes in, my watch will buzz. But no. So went and saw the Trevi Fountain. That was cool. We went to the Colosseum.
Mm-hmm.
Got a tour.
Colosseum. Got a
tour through the Colosseum, which was really, really cool.
Did they have any like events going on then?
Nah, no. But the lady was like super informative, all that stuff. Right down the street from the Coliseum, and I learned this from talking to Brother Charlie Clark III, Brother Charlie.
Mm-hmm. He went there last year.
Yeah,
a couple years
he
ago.
told me that right down the street from the Coliseum is the Mamertine prison, which is
that the one that
is believed to be the prison that Paul was held at when he was killed. So we went through the Coliseum. I Googled it. I was like, dude, it's like a 6-7 minute walk. So I told Nikki, I was like, hey, let's go check this out. So we go there. The Catholics like built like this church on top of the prison because the Catholics take control of everything. They're like, oh, this is ours now. So they built like a church on there. I walked in and you're supposed to like buy a ticket to go down to see the prison cell and stuff like that. The lady.
So, sorry, are they advertising it as like the prison that Paul was at? Like, was that?
I wouldn't say it's advertised, but actually no, it is. It is advertised that this is the prison that Paul, and they say that Peter was also in this prison.
Mm.
The Catholics say that like hardcore.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird thing to like.
Paul would be so famous.
Well, that and like,
So, hey, this might hurt, but
like
you're gonna be famous.
Well, no, like,
Right.
okay. Imagine being the Italians or the whatever you want to call it, and be like, "This is where we imprison the guy."
This is where we killed Christ.
Yeah.
This is where we imprison the guy who preached Christ.
Yeah,
Right.
it's pretty cool. Here, pay us $20. You can see it.
So
Yeah, it's weird.
So this is believed to be the prison that Paul was in before he was killed.
They should make it free as penance for their
Right,
sins.
right.
So there was a lady at the desk, and she was like arguing with these two other ladies. All right, I imagine about ticket sales or something like that. And I was standing there, I was like waiting, and I was like, you know what? So I snuck into the prison.
Mm-hmm.
Paul would be proud.
So I
So
dude snuck right in. I mean, like,
For the furtherance of the gospel.
You're the only person to ever sneak into a prison.
so snuck in there, and I like
We
walked
just
down.
walk past.
Yeah, and then I walked down
Did
these like.
Mickey also?
No, she stayed outside. So I walked into these. I walked down like these metal stairs into like this like stone like corridor, and
What are the chances of a security guard goes, "Hey, you, stop!" and you run down into the bottom of the prison and they lock you down there?
dude. So
And you say, "Chop off my head."
So I
They
get-
got me.
I get down there, and there's this Catholic priest there with all these like Catholic people,
Oh my gosh.
and they're singing a song like a song in Latin, and they're like, and I was like, and it's like spooky because it's like echoing through
Yeah.
like the stone prison and
It's
stuff.
actually the Lion King song.
Yeah.
And you saying like, "I'm not going to hell."
right. So I was like,
Going to hell.
so it was like really creepy. So I'd walk down the thing, and I get pictures and stuff of the cell, and then I sneak back out. So I snuck in and out of prison.
You have
that day.
pictures? Oh, on your phone.
I can show you afterwards. So that was really, really cool. But then we went to Turkey, southern Turkey,
Mm-hmm.
and we went to
Dark meat, white meat.
dark smoked.
Oh, I didn't think they made it there.
So we went down there, and we went to see what is believed to be the house that Mary died in,
Which one?
the mother of Jesus.
Okay.
In Turkey?
Yeah, because it's
They
believed.
got around.
Tra-
No planes or anything.
Tradition is tradition is believed that because she was with John,
Mm-hmm.
and tradition is believed that they were hiding her because all the other disciples were being killed, so they were like hiding her as well. So they took us up to this house. It was like up on this hill outside of Ephesus,
Mm-hmm.
and they showed us this is the house we believe that she died in when she got old or whatever.
Wow.
And then I forgot to tell you, the tour guide that we picked for Turkey, like I'm talking like dart on the wall, pick this random tour. Our tour guide is the voice for the Turkey dub of the Transformers movies, and he was Optimus Prime.
That's cool.
So
That's very cool.
our tour guide is Turkish Optimus Prime, and he's showing us like the House of Mary. He takes us down to Ephesus.
I used to be Optimus Prime. Now here's Mary's house.
Yeah.
we go walking through Ephesus, and he's like showing us like all the statues for like the Greek gods and the pagans and all this other stuff. And then he shows us this stadium which sat like 17,000 people, and it's where Paul preached
Preach. Yeah.
right there in Ephesus and
That's cool.
and got like arrested.
Right.
So it was like it was like really cool because like when I read, I was like telling like our church about this tonight. When I read Ephesians, like to me in my brain, it's just Paul writing a missionary letter to a church that's
Right.
in Ephesus, right? Like we get missionary letters, we read them at our church all the time, and like to me, that's just kind of how my brain like saw things. But then like I go there and I see that the entire city of Ephesus is all pagan worship.
Yeah.
Like there's like statues to Hercules and temples for all
Well,
these
back
other
in
like,
the Bible, there was the goddess Diana.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
there
it was the goddess of fertility and
yeah, and there was Artemis who was
yeah,
like
yeah.
and then Nike was there.
That's crazy.
Which is what the Nike shoe is based off of her. She's the goddess of victory.
I would have never guessed that.
Yep. So
I did not know that.
went through like
It's a joke when you say Nike. I'm like,
I mean, I
was like, oh yeah, that's the
yeah. So went through like that whole thing, and then I'm sitting there and I'm thinking like Paul stood in this very spot and was like surrounded by pagan worship and preached the same gospel that like I preach
the
today.
exact same. Yep.
Yeah, like it was wild going through Ephesus. And then after
did you preach in there?
I did not. I was not trying to get arrested as well. But we left Ephesus and then we went to John's Basilica to see where John was buried, which was really neat. Then we left Ephesus. We went through a bunch of different Greek islands like Mykonos, Santorini.
That's cool.
Olympia. We saw like the original stadium for like the Olympic Games and stuff, which was like really, really cool.
Yeah.
Did you saw the Coliseum? Did I miss that?
Yeah. We went through the Coliseum. That was the first thing.
Super big, or like from what you would think, like from going to football stadiums and stuff. Not that.
I mean, when you compare it to like a football stadium, it's not that big.
But for that day and that time, that's
for that day and time, dude. It was.
What would you compare it to size wise? My bicep.
Yeah.
His quads.
Have I been on since I came back from my cousin's wedding in Arizona?
No.
Grand Canyon.
The Grand Canyon. So I don't mean to cut you off. Are you
finish your thought?
Am I familiar?
Yeah,
I've heard of it.
Thing.
Seen pictures.
Finish what you're saying.
Then we bounced back around and came up towards
How'd that feel?
shook me up. We went to Sicily and went to Sicily and Naples and
That's
Naples,
the way to do it though. If you want to go to like Europe, right? Is Europe?
Yeah.
Well,
like
Europe,
you did a cruise, so you flew to Rome and did the cruise around.
Flew to Rome. We spent about
Europe
a day
is
and
like
a
a
half.
fraction of the size of our country, so we could. I mean, you can go to like all the countries.
I think I said that recently on here. People in Europe vacation to different countries. In America, most Americans never leave because you vacation in America.
There's a guy. There's a British guy that moved to America.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
And he's like, he fell in love with it. And he's like, the Europeans don't understand. Like, they think that Americans are so small-minded because they don't go to other countries. And it's like, they don't understand how vast America is. You can go anywhere in the country and get whatever you want. You don't need to go anywhere else.
We have everything. We have. Oh, you want beach? We got many beaches.
Yeah.
That way and this way. You want desert? We've got desert. You want mountains? We got mountains. You want trees? Oh, we got trees. You want lakes? We got lakes.
Well,
like,
right.
He's like,
we have every.
Because he was talking about that when he was in Texas. He was like, I've been driving for 7 hours and I haven't made it through Texas yet.
I wore
in
New
Europe
York,
7 hours. You're in 4 different countries.
Yeah.
I wore New York t-shirts in Greece, and Nikki was like, "Why are you wearing a shirt that says New York?" I was like, "Because they need to know that I'm better than them."
Yeah.
And they would just walk, dude, for sure. And but like we went, and then we did Naples, and we got pizza, and I've been ruined. It was so good. It might have been like the best pizza I've ever had.
I mean, if you're gonna have it, I should be
Pretty
there.
sure that would
Dude,
be, yeah.
Like when you say,
so
"What's the best
good.
pizza you ever had, David?" and you say, "Naples."
Little Caesars.
Naples?
Yeah.
I think, we had a place
We went
in
to,
Naples.
Yeah. I mean, Rudy's has it, but
Have you seen that clip
it's installed a nice brick oven.
But the trip overall was so much fun.
How many hours flying to Rome?
8.5.
And then you got on a cruise ship.
Well, we spent almost 2 days in Rome.
And then you got on
And then
a
you
cruise
got on
we
the
got
cruise
on a
ship.
cruise ship, and then we went to.
Why didn't you take me with you?
Did you
I would have been your
cruise-
kid. I could be like, "Hey, daddy."
It was so much fun. And like I said, just to see, we tried to go to Corinth.
That would have been cool. Still.
We tried to go, but it was like the Corinth Canal was like a little over an hour and a half away from the port. So like to get there and then get back in time, we would have only had like an hour in Corinth. And I was like, that's kind of cutting it close. So we didn't.
Did you could have written them a letter.
Could have. I don't think it would have held as much weight.
Just say, you know.
That's so.
You know.
You know.
No,
Hey, just checking in.
but
You know,
yeah, no, we saw it was cool to see like a lot of these places that like are referenced in the Bible like come to life. and then like be in the Colosseum where like Christians were like persecuted and stuff like that. Like that kind of stuff was cool. Like the lady that was given the tour in the Colosseum.
It's cool.
The lady that was given the tour in the Colosseum, she was like, you know,
she would go beat me some Christians.
she was like, gladiators rarely died in the Colosseum because they were soldiers, so they wouldn't fight to the death, because why would you kill your soldiers? It doesn't make any sense. That's dumb.
Right.
And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. She goes, the fights to the death were actually done around noontime, and it would be criminals.
Right.
Criminals would be the ones that would fight to the death. And I'm sitting there and I'm like listening to her like give the
so
speech.
Much sense.
And she's like, the criminals would be the ones that would be fight to the death at noontime.
The Christians were the criminals.
And then it hit me, and I was like, "Wait, Christians? Like, no, like you guys are just killing Christians." And then she was like talking about how like she was like, "But you know, the Italian people, the Romans, they weren't so stupid and they weren't so base. They didn't prefer the bloodshed, so they would go and eat while people were being put to death and stuff like that." And I was like,
not a popular time.
I was like, "Woman,
No.
you
It's
just
like the halftime show.
I was like, woman, you just told me it was sold out shows out here, and you're telling me that they don't like it?"
Yeah, it was like a halftime show at a football game where they put the little league kids out on the field to play their half.
On top of that, still doesn't make it any better. You still put them in there to die.
You should go to the Fox Book of Martyrs.
Like,
you should have put out the Fox Book of Martyrs and but hey, it doesn't say quite that.
And then she goes in the middle of the tour. This made me laugh. She goes, "The hardest thing for me to kind of convey to you is where the seating was in the stadium." And I was like, right there? I was like, we're Americans. We know what stadiums look like. She was like, you know, the seats, just imagine all of these seats went all the way around. And I was like,
yeah.
There's literal seats like there.
Where was the big screen?
Where's the Jumbotron?
Yeah, the Jumbotron.
Right in the center.
And the celebrity, where the new celebrity lookalikes? Like,
yeah.
Did they talk about?
Look, that's Pilot. Looks like
who's
Pilot.
the halftime show?
Yeah. Did they? Katy Perry? Is that?
Dude,
did they have? Is this the place where they had stuff coming up from the ground? Like, did they have ground?
Yeah, so I got pictures I can show you. So what it usually...
I thought like for like the lions and the tigers.
So,
well, a Gladiator told me one thing, so I just wanted to
Gladiator.
be true.
I was wondering they brought it up.
Yeah, so I have pictures that I can show you. So it used to be a platform, and under the platform was like all these rooms and tunnels and stuff. That's where they would keep the slaves that would fight, the criminals that would die.
The Christians had to fight each other.
Yeah, so like they would fight other criminals to the death, or sometimes they'd fight animals like lions.
So Christians had to just stand there. So I think what happened is they would like fight each other, and they're like, "No, we're not. We're gonna stand here."
And then they would send
like,
out a lion.
And then like send out a lion. I think that's what.
But she said it like 3 times. She was like, "Yeah, the gladiators. No, they were way too important.
Who were the gladiators fighting?
They would fight other gladiators. So what they would do, it'd kind of be like
a spar.
Yeah, it'd kind of be like just like a UFC kind of match where like there would be 2 different politicians, and what they would do is they would.
I don't believe this lady. I take my facts from Gladiator. I think it was like, I think what happened, and I'm an authority on this subject.
You're an authority
because I've watched Gladiator like 100 times. I think what happened was they took slaves and they were like, "All right, fight," and then this particular slave or a group of particular slaves, there's 50 of them, and now there's 25. And then they send those 25 out to fight again, and now, there's 15. And those particular 15 have now lasted 3 fights. And it's like, they're gladiators.
Oh,
and they just keep winning.
I mean, they're not going to make a movie without doing the research.
Just like in Gladiator, one guy kills a guy in a particular way, and the crowd's like, "Oh, crowd favorite!" And then people start coming to see that guy fight because he keeps living, and then he wins his freedom.
Yeah,
that seems like it should be right. And then they have that guy against like 5 Christians, right? And he's like hacking them up because they've got to be some sport. And then they have chariots with swords on them, and they're like, "Yeah!" And then they have women fighters who come out with bows, and they're just like super, like
realistic,
demonstrative, and destroying.
So what she was telling me, which is apparently super wrong, is she would tell me that the politicians that were like campaigning against each other, they would rent out the like Coliseum, and they would rent actual like in times of peace, not in times of war, but in times of peace, they would rent a gladiator from a school, because the gladiators were essentially just soldiers in the army that would go to this school and they would train so that if war did come again, they would be ready. So they would go to a school and they would rent a gladiator, and then they would host like a fight between the gladiators. But they said rarely ever, if a gladiator died during that fight, it was because somebody messed up really bad. Because and then there was also like insurance on the gladiator, and they would have to pay like 10 times what they paid rent to pay for the gladiator that died. But
I don't know if that's true.
But like the criminals,
From my
like the criminal from your extensive research, the criminals, like the Christians and the slaves and stuff like that, they'd be like, yeah, kill each other.
Yeah.
And then if you don't, we'll just sick an animal on you.
time should go back to that.
To Christians being killed?
Not that, but like, hey, let's take all the criminals in prison and just let them fight for their freedom. I feel like that would really do a good thing, be a good thing.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
I was imagining. All right.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but no, the trip was actually super, super cool. Like to sneak.
Well, I mean, when you say, okay, you said the trip was actually super. Yeah, when you fly to Rome and you take a cruise around Europe and you say it actually was pretty good. Like I hope so.
As if we were expecting it to be like the lamest thing ever.
Gasp. Oh, really?
Well, like, cause like the people at the church, I guess I just wasn't very clear. Actually, I wasn't clear because
you should just call it a missionary journey.
Here's the thing:
David's first missionary journey.
Here's the thing, right? Like Nikki booked the trip, and I was like, "Yeah, sure, we'll go. Just tell me when I need to take off." And I was like, "You can, just let me know when I need to take off. We can go wherever." I had no idea until we were in Rome. We were in Rome. I had no idea that we were going to Ephesus.
Really?
And I was like, "Are you serious?" And she was like, yeah. The first stop on the cruise is Kusadasi, Turkey, like where Ephesus is. And I was like, oh.
If someone told me Kusadasi, Turkey, I'm not going to think Ephesus.
I'm never going to think Ephesus.
So I was excited. So the people in our church were like, oh, David and Nikki just went to Italy and Greece.
That's what you said to everyone.
Because that's what you told everyone.
That's what you told our podcast.
That's what I was telling people. We're going to Italy and Greece. And so then when we got back, they were like, tonight, people were like, how was the trip? And I was like, bro, we did the coolest stuff. And I was explaining it. And like Jeremy Mason was like, wait, so you snuck into the prison cell
Mamertine prison
that Paul was at before I was like, yeah. He goes, so you were standing in the room where 2 Timothy was written. And I was like, yes.
illegally.
And he was like,
you and Paul were both criminals there.
But
you were an actual criminal.
The difference, I walked out.
Yeah.
And no one knew I was there. So, but it was...
Yeah, Paul, not to be brutish, Paul, but do better.
Yeah.
You could have walked out.
Yeah, dude, they didn't even notice me. No, it was super, super cool. Like I said, I have a ton of pictures and stuff like that. It was good times.
Sounds awesome. For 1 minute, talk about the Grand Canyon.
There's nothing in the whole world that's like that place. It's insane. Like, okay, so you grow up, like you go to school, you learn about the Grand Canyon, you learn that's this great big hole in the ground, and you're like, that's pretty cool. You see some pictures of it, and like, that's pretty neat. And then that's it, and you're like, it'd be cool to go, but if I don't go, whatever. That is easily
overwhelming,
the coolest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. It was amazing. I didn't realize how big it was. It is 260 something miles long.
So if you jumped off,
it averages
the abyss,
about 10 miles across.
Didn't Evil? Oh,
yes, he did. He jumped over like one of the shorter pieces of it.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah,
I've not been, but I'm told like if you got lost there, you'd be never found ever again.
It's so vast.
Yeah, they would never find your body.
I took probably like 100 or 200 pictures, and I don't like. I can look at them and understand and appreciate because like I saw it, but like if I were to show it to someone else, like they just wouldn't understand. You would not get it. Like you look at it and it looks like it's not real because of how huge it is. You're like, there's like your brain. You know, like when you see something, your brain can't understand it. Like that's how it feels looking at the whole thing. You could stare at it all month long and it would still be amazing.
So it's pretty grand, huh?
It's more than grand. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Describe to me the canyon part.
Very canyony.
Since you've been recently, I have a question.
Okay.
Now, I've been told that like there's like kind of like marks in the canyon, like color, like where like the color is like shades off, and it has been explained to me that those marks are essentially where water had like it was like water was settled there and then like it dried up and the water was settled there.
Like
and, dried
scientists
up.
say there was a body of water there at some point, like that's something, but they obviously say millions and millions of years.
They got a part of it was like we had a little bit of a guided tour before we're like on our own, and you don't have to, but it's just something that we did. And the guy there said that it was over the course of millions of years. Like the ocean came in and then went out. And I'm like, he's explaining us, and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, that just makes zero sense.
So when does that happen again?
So like
came in and went out.
Yeah. So this is the only place in the world that happened, and this is what the result was. There should be canyons everywhere.
What did make it? I mean, I know the flood had probably a big. But why did the flood happen? Did the earth just just broke it all up in pieces? Like
I think it was probably just like incredibly loose. You know, I mean, there's other places where like you've had something similar happen to it, but this just happened on a much larger,
grander.
Yeah,
grander.
Because at some
scale.
point you have to have one that's like bigger than the rest. Also, the Colorado River still runs through it at the bottom. You can see it. So I'm sure that had to do with part of it.
You guys just kind of like went off and exploded on yourself. Briefly.
Yeah, we didn't go in it because that's like a whole other like endeavor.
We kind of did the same thing like in Ephesus and then Mykonos. We got tours, but like the rest of it, like the boat would dock and they'd be like, "You want to go on this tour?" And be like, "Nah, we're just gonna get lost for a couple hours and then come back." And I'd prefer that.
Dude, it was so cool. And I totally forgot going up there. I'm like, it's kind of, I was thinking like, man, it's annoying. We had to pay like $30 to get in here. Then I remembered that I'm military, and military, you get a free pass to go in any federal park.
Hey, awesome. That's cool.
So that was cool.
I forgot to say, I bought so many Greek shirts and pants. Because they're like linen and super nice, and
I got a linen shirt like it's like probably like 6 years ago, just like to try it out. It's the most comfortable thing.
Dude, I bought a shirt then I bought a pair of pants and I went, I'm a Greek boy now. I'm wearing this forever.
I got a long sleeve one to wear in the summer so that like I could keep this is when I was living in Georgia to like keep the sun off me but still like breathe.
Yeah,
and it was like it's so comfortable.
I just got a couple t-shirts and some pants.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, dude, this is it now. This is me.
Yeah, linen t-shirts are like the way to go.
Greek boy.
That all sounds great. I went to Gatlinburg.
This guy.
Gatlinburg is really cool.
What was it? The last week of August, and we went to the Comedy Barn.
Isn't that awesome?
I got called up on stage.
Really?
Yeah.
You did comedy?
I didn't know that.
Me and Michael.
Oh my god!
Did he do the bucket thing when you were there?
I'm trying to think. What was the bucket thing?
Where he has 4 guys come up there and you all sit on a bucket and then lean back on the other guy's lap, and then they pull the buckets and you just stand there.
No. So that must be.
I've seen that. I've seen that on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, he did this whole thing, and he like at the halftime, whatever. Or, intermission.
Wasn't it nice how like they kept like reiterating that they were all about like clean comedy, like that like they wanted.
It was good. It was good. But we got called up on stage, and it was funny. It was silly, but it was interesting. But that was good. And then we had our revival, and then last week was Hagerstown, Maryland, and I drove back for work, and then I went back to Hagerstown, then drove back to work, then I went back to Hagerstown, then I came back, and then I worked Friday, and then Saturday I flew to Tennessee for a meeting that my wife's family was doing, and then I was there Saturday, Sunday, and then I came back Monday, and my wife is coming back tomorrow, so yeah.
And now your youth rally's coming up.
Youth rally, 27th, 28th, if you all want to, well, actually, this is the weekend of it, because This is the second episode of the night.
Oh, that's true.
So this is
Oh,
So
Well-
your guys' stories are a lot more interesting than mine.
I just say agree.
we've all been doing
Aaron-
things.
I'll
Did
say
you
this-
just say I agree?
Oh, well,
Your stories are way
No,
more
no.
interesting than what I agree.
no, I don't know what I said, but listen. So the town that we stayed, so the whole reason I was in Arizona was for my cousin's wedding.
His name was
Paul.
He was on the podcast
Paul.
He was my cousin Paul Sadoff.
for his wedding. For
Yeah,
Dustin's
yeah.
wedding.
He's a farmer and he met a rancher out from Arizona.
He was the
Yeah.
one.
Oh.
How much acreage you have?
Dude, so look, you get.
He was the one
Hey,
who was
hey,
surprised at
listen,
how much a cheesesteak cost.
Guess. Just take a guess.
He's like,
Take a guess at how big the ranch is. Just a guess.
His ranch or the
all right,
The
was it a
ranch
big
out there.
ranch or little ranch?
It is massive.
Is it Hidden Valley?
Close.
All right.
Hidden
we don't
Valley
get credit
Ranch?
for these things.
I
We-
know.
we've all
That was
said a
good.
lot.
I thought.
I know.
Sorry,
The
my
grant
head
was a grant. Like,
My head's not there right now. Just
No, yeah.
I'm not saying you don't give us credit. I'm saying these people don't.
the
You know who you are. 1,500 acres.
You're not even close. Like not even
Are you kidding?
30
100.
square miles.
Whoa.
Okay, well, how about acres?
Nope. That is like 160 or no, a couple 100,000 acres. What? Yeah.
Well, wasn't
I'll look
it Glenn
Where for
Stocker?
Arizona?
Glenn Stocker was telling us that,
And that's just what they own. The land that they pay the grazing rights for is like it's
That's
totally
a
like 60
Yellowstone.
something acres.
This is Yellowstone.
Do you have any idea how big Arizona is? Huge. It's a very massive state.
How do they get that much land?
But look, you look if you
It's
look
like some bonanza stuff there, Ponzi stuff. They
No,
went out
because-
there and started-
dude, no one lives there.
how many Indians did
There's
they kill?
like no one there.
But how do they get that land? 160,000
he took it
acres?
from somebody.
huh?
60,000 acres? How many?
Because like 4 people live in Arizona and it's vast.
4
So,
people.
They do.
Well,
it's like
Glenn Stocker was telling me like his dad
Right,
owned
right.
like a ton of land, and my pastor went down there and was like, "So how do you got like how many acres is your farm?" And he was like, "We don't measure it by acres out here." And he was like, well, "What do you measure it by?" And I forget what it's called. Like it was called like a
Parcel.
it was like a I forget. Man, it really bugs me that I forget what
all
it's
right.
called.
Sorry,
But it was like he said the whatever the name was for this thing was 1 square mile of land, and he was like, well, how much does your dad own? And Glenn Stocker was like, oh, he's got like 6 to 10 of them or something like that. And my pastor was like, huh? And then when Glenn Stocker got saved, his dad cut him out of the will.
I don't know.
You know what I think one of the greatest oversights in history was?
What?
Abraham not taking more land. As far as your eye could see, and he's Israel, bro.
He was
It's
like,
New Jersey.
right
Come
here.
on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
As far as your eye can see,
I mean, Davy Crockett took Texas.
as far as your eye can see, he's like, oh, I forgot my glasses in the tent.
Well,
Well, you did tell me when I was 80, Lord. Blind.
I'd like the record to show Davy Crockett didn't make it that far.
Alamo. That's
Yeah,
Antonio.
he didn't take nothing though. They lost. They lost that.
As far as all these people know listening, he's the conqueror and the Lord and Savior of Texas.
But dude, like we
Well, no, you had info.
okay.
Yeah, so I couldn't. The figure I gave you, that was the size of Fort Benning. Because then we're stuck on 19,200 acres. That's 30 square miles. Because it's 640 acres
light.
per mile.
That's light.
Could you imagine?
They
cutting
They
the
only
grass?
own 19,000 acres.
Losers.
Light.
Loser. Could you imagine
Isn't that
cutting the
nuts?
grass?
I'm just, and you're
there's
just
not
trying to,
grass
you're
like
working your whole life to own,
But
to,
could you
to buy
imagine?
one nice
Dude.
acre to build your house on.
I know. Isn't
Could
it
you
amazing?
imagine having to cut 19,000 acres of grass?
That would be horrible. You'd have to have a combine to cut grass.
Dude, that'd be the worst thing ever.
That was
Pause. A combine to cut grass?
if you had that much.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can do it.
Okay.
You could definitely do it.
19,000 acres with a combine, dude. Not.
No, bro, you'd have
No.
to cut grass with a
You'd have
forest
to
fire.
cut grass with like 100,000 crop dusters.
No,
You'd have to cut grass
You'd
with
have
a,
more than one combine.
You'd have to cut grass with
You'd
a
have to have 1,000 combines.
Well,
You
let's-
could only cut that grass with fire.
Most
You'd
people
have
have. I guess you'd have.
You'd
maybe
have to.
30.
You'd have to
You'd
get
have
the
30
government to drop a
You'd
nuke
have
on it.
30 combines, one
You know
per
how
square mile.
You know how you cut grass for 19,000 acres?
That's expensive.
Drought. That's how you cut grass for 19,000.
Drought.
Drought.
Watch that.
That's the only way to
The
do it.
You don't
Arizona,
cut 19,000 acres.
Listen, Arizona is the coolest place ever. As the coolest state
that
I've
can't
ever
be
been
true.
to.
They own
I was-
19,000 acres?
Yes, I promise.
How many brothers? How many
Arizona's-
grandparents?
You don't understand.
How did they get this?
You don't understand.
When did it start?
Time
It
out. Can we
started-
go back to where he said Arizona is the coolest
It
place
is.
ever?
It's so awesome.
I literally just talked about how I was in Italy, Turkey, and Greece.
I understand.
And
Listen
you
to me.
follow that up with
Yeah, but I'm
Arizona.
talking about America.
Arizona. The only good thing could come out of Arizona is their iced tea.
Are you cheating on your country?
Am I cheating on my country?
Yeah, with those
Greeky boy.
Italians.
No.
Like them gyros.
Actually,
I thought it was
wasn't-
gyros.
I don't know what it.
I think
you
it's
say
called. I think it's Euro.
You say, yeah, but then people get mad at you for that, so you can't win that. Anyway, Arizona's amazing. And the town that we stayed in, guess what?
Had a traffic light.
No.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but it was the, listen. That was the town that Radiator Springs was based off of. Because Route 66 runs right through it, or the original Route 66.
You're right. That is pretty.
Isn't that cool?
That is pretty. That's way cooler.
Their
than,
ranch is off of Route 66.
Coolest thing you've said thus far.
That's way
In
cooler.
104 episodes.
Yeah, that's way cooler than where Paul preached the gospel.
No, Paul
To
got
the
Paul got married.
Ephesians.
Paul got married.
He's like, Paul is in prison writing saying abide by the laws that the governing forces give, and David breaks the law to go see where Paul had his head hacked off for the gospel's sake.
Listen, dude. Yeah, dude. The Paul I was checking out he was penning 2 Timothy. The Paul you were there was like, bro, cheesesteaks $15. What? I don't know how I feel about this.
He's how much is this? How much is a cheesesteak? Six or seven? That's expensive. He's
The guy who's probably got the most money out of everybody at your bachelor party.
So how does it break
freaking
down?
out because he's got to pay for cheese fries.
And she moved here,
Yes.
and they farm like a couple thousand acres, and they're
Probably something.
they're
maybe
pretty much like a deity here.
Yeah. That's like that was, and that's the deal. Like, or the joke that we've made is that, like, Paul, you married into some land, and something ever had to switch to cattle.
He'll end up moving there.
Huh?
He'll end up moving out there.
He'll never leave here. He's
How's he ever gonna get his hands on that land?
I don't know. It was amazing.
So how many? So her dad, brothers.
So he's like the second generation to own it. Like, you have to understand. You have
pardon.
Yes.
How'd they get 19,000 acres? I need to talk to somebody.
be,
I'm serious. Like how? Where?
I'm serious.
How many dollars is that?
not as much as you think. I mean, land
20 and some change.
I don't know what the. I mean, I don't know what the
Two
number.
cheesesteaks.
I don't know.
Back
what,
in those days, they bought them with a
Second
couple
generation. So his grandpa.
Back in those days, they probably bought the land with a couple of blankets.
with smallpox. Is that what you're getting at?
Because of the Indians.
Yeah.
Well,
And they died.
You're talking about the smallpox blankets, right? Is that's your reference?
Yes.
Okay.
Where are you going?
making sure it's still recording. I've never had a video going for 2 hours before.
Hey, do you want these sticks that go boom boom? How do they work?
Yeah, bro.
Boom boom.
Pay for that land in some blankets and disease.
Look. Listen to me.
Trail of tears.
I looked up land in Arizona just to get an idea. And like, obviously, like when you buy land in that volume, it a lot of times because it's so
It does go down, yes.
Yeah,
but
but
why
listen.
are they farming all 19,000?
no, they raise cattle.
Yeah, they cut grass, bro.
So they have. So the way that her brother was explaining it to me is that they call each square mile is a section. So they said they.
That's
have
what it
30
is.
sections.
Section.
Yeah.
That's the word I was trying to think of. The Glenn Stocker's dad.
And
was sections.
The way they work it is they have around 7 head per section to graze, and then they literally like cowboys get on horses and like round everything up like you'd see on Bonanza. They still do it that way.
Did you round them up?
you
Listen,
imagine?
listen.
Oh, man, that would be so cool.
They don't have a well where they live, so every week they have to drive down to the nearest well station and fill their well truck up with water with however many tens of thousands of gallons. Go back to their house and empty into their their water tank.
Bro,
Don't you just drill down?
Yeah, but that well that they go to is 3,000 feet down.
Good night.
I gotta be
So I
honest
guess
with you.
God didn't want people to live there.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm glad I'm not a ranch hand. So hey,
like,
you want to talk about complaining about work? Me?
why are they riding horses? I think I'm not getting saddle sore. I'm
Did
going
you
on one of
imagine
them
how
gators.
much, how much gas you would have to pay for?
Yeah, can you imagine that?
Billionaires.
I don't know about that. I don't think that.
Yeah, million billionaires.
Million
You
billionaires.
understand how much a billion? That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
And Mark Cuban only has 5 of them. And he wants to buy Twitter, and he's like, I would buy Twitter if I could. And Elon Musk said retweeted his net worth, which is $5 billion. And Elon's like, sorry, buddy, I bought Twitter for $44 billion. Nice try though. Keep trying, kid.
That's so funny.
Dang, what a flex.
Yeah, dude, it's
You said-
trashed him.
You said Mark Cuban?
Mark Cuban has been came out and said, I would buy Twitter if I could, blah, blah, blah. But Mark Cuban is only worth $5 billion.
Yeah.
Twitter was bought for $44 billion by Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is the number 1 or 2 in the world.
He is the richest person in the world.
So,
but he
retweeted
for a while.
He commented and had Mark Cuban's face and his net worth, and it was like, I bought it for $44 billion.
guy in the world is
he's
African.
like, if you keep trying, you can maybe one day, buddy. Like
The guy in Turkey that was giving us a tour was flexing on us the whole time like that too. He was like giving us the tour, and he's like, over here, he's like, this is my winter home. It's got however many acres.
Why is he doing tours?
I think boredom.
I'd never get bored if I had a summer home.
He was like, I have a winter home. It's got 10 bedrooms.
No.
Like showed us.
No.
He took us to the house.
Why is he doing tours for Carnival Cruise people?
Well, he's not doing it for Carnival Cruise. We didn't do it through Carnival.
This was just some guy that went in the street.
Dude, no, we literally.
And this is my house. He was
We
the
literally-
exact same guy
it was-
you were in Paul's prison.
It was like
Illegal.
It was literally like it was just a private tour, and he was like, "Yeah, sure." So he was like, "Let me show you around." He like took us.
Did you ask him what he did?
Did I ask him what he did?
What's your job?
No. But he was like,
Is he a line locator too?
Didn't
Did you point out
specifically
all
ask
the
him.
lines?
Does his
they had?
wife do hair?
"No, she doesn't work.
His wife.
No, she doesn't work. She's Russian." But he told us about how he was the voice for Optimus Prime in the Turkish movies.
Maybe that's why he
Has all that money.
that same guy. Yeah. Okay.
And then he was telling us that he did a bunch. He played basketball for Syracuse. He had a scholarship in New York. Played basketball. Comes back to Turkey. Was Optimus Prime? Was
Did he have a good voice?
yeah.
Okay.
I asked him. I said, "What other voices have you done?" And he like listed off like.
All right.
a
So
ton.
what's his name? What Optimus Prime Turkey? Like what language?
Yeah, just look up Turkish dub Optimus Prime. He did a bunch of stuff. He showed us, and then he was like, dude, he took us, he got us a private showing at like this fancy pottery place. And I made a bowl with my hands.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Did you bring it back here?
No, because it would have taken like 17 hours in the kiln to heat it up.
Oh no.
But he showed us
So
like
he sold it for a profit.
he took us downstairs to like where all like the expensive stuff was.
Yeah.
And they put moonstone in their pottery, and when he turns the light off, it like glows in the dark. Is that I think that might be the American guy.
Mm-hmm.
He did the Turkish voiceover
Ayhan
dub.
Kayan.
Do. The Last Prime in Turkish. His name was Hakan.
That looks right.
Yeah.
Kalan.
Peter Cullen is the
Okay.
English guy. Yeah. He was like really cool. He got us like a private
Any of these guys look familiar?
Mm-mm. Anyway, we're killing time. Anyway,
Sorry.
no,
I was looking for Stiff.
he also took us to a leather workshop, which is they use their leather for like Louis Vuitton and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we were looking at like leather jackets and stuff, and they were like, "We'll give you a deal," but even then, they were way too expensive.
So this is who
How
I'm
much were
saying
they?
it is.
Like what?
The guy I was looking at he was skinnier. I'll look him up when we get done recording. But yeah,
Voice actor of the last Prime in Turkish, Ayan Kayan, joined the All-Sport. I don't know.
but yeah,
Well, I guess you got lied to. I'm just joking. All right, we need to wrap this up.
wrap it up.
Dustin, why don't you give the gospel? Let's have a real abrupt ending. Love you guys.
Did you
Good to
invite
be
me?
back. Good to be back.
I gotta collect myself. All right. Jesus said in John 14:6, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh to the Father but by me." There's only one way to get into heaven. There's going to be you'll go to churches like Unitarian Universalists. They'll tell you that there's all these different ways you can get there. That it's just whatever thing you pray to or come in contact with, or whatever weird doctrine they give you. But Jesus says that He's the only way to get to heaven. He died for your sins. He loves you. He came to earth specifically to save you from hell. The only thing you have to do is to receive Him as your Lord and Savior. It's a huge blessing to know that you don't have to do anything crazy to earn your salvation, and that you can have actual assurance that you're saved and not just a bunch of nonsense.
Amen. All right. Thanks, guys, for listening. Hopefully you enjoy this episode. Join us next week. We're going to get stuff out. Calm down. It's fine.
It's fine. Hey there, comrades. Thanks for tuning in to the Calm Down It's Fine podcast. If you liked what you heard this episode, be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and share that link. We want to get the episode out. We want as many new listeners as we can, and we want the old listeners to keep coming back. So be sure to like and subscribe. Find us on social media at C. Diff Podcast. If you want to donate to the show, you can find the link to do so in the description below. So thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.